Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yo Nityamachyudapadam Vajigmurukmavyamo Hadastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmad Guru Bhagavato Siddhaika Sindho Ramanujasya Charano Sharanam Prapadhye. यस्य स्मरणमात्रेण द्वैतवासना प्रमुच्यते बोधात्मकाय नमस्तस्मै भगवते श्रीरमणमहर्षे हृदाकाशे सदा भान्तं शान्तमानन्दरूपिणं ज्ञानभाण्महं वन्दे सद्गुरुं श्री सत्यसायिनं मम अन्तर्यामिनं. Giving up the pride that I know all. One has to engage bravely in sadhana until the truth of the Paramatma is attained by them. That's what we've seen so far. Every aspirant who seeks the eternal through the path of bhakti should strive to keep away from the turmoils, cruelties and falsehoods of this world and instead practice truth, righteousness, love and peace. Sathya, Dharma, Shanti and Prema. Keep away from the cruelties, the falsehood and the turmoils of this world. This is indeed the path of bhakti. Those who seek union with God and those who seek the welfare of the world should discard as worthless both praise and blame, appreciation and derision, prosperity and adversity. They should courageously keep steady faith in their own innate reality and dedicate themselves to spiritual uplift. Turmoil is always there in this world. And it happens because of Kala, time. You cannot do anything about it. If you look at the pattern of history, everything is quiet for some time, then things go, something shakes, then things settle down, then something shakes, then something settles down. It always happens. Conflicts are constant, isn't it? Troubles are constant, conflicts are constant. For some time we hear about it. After some time we do not hear about it. It is gone. In recent times, if you take, we heard so much about, at one point in time, a certain organization called Al-Qaeda. Then no, does anybody talk about it? Let's talk about ISIS. Does anybody talk about it? No, Corona. Does anybody talk about it? No, Ukraine. This is just in the last 22 years, if you will, from 2000 to 2022. The last 22 years, so many blips in the radar, so much turmoil. We had the tsunami that came and went. We had volcanic eruptions happen. We had earthquakes happen. Christchurch earthquake, for instance, happened. Ebola outbreak happened. Something is happening all the time in this world. If we are going to start looking into each and every one of those things, we will have no time whatsoever for bhakti. Cruelties are there in this world. What can you do about it? To the deer, the tiger is cruel. Isn't it? To the grass, deer is cruel. Oh, there is so much cruelty. Oh, there is so much this, so much that. Then we will not have time for bhakti. When the world wars were happening, World War II I think was happening, or some other war was happening, Sino-Japanese war was happening. And people asked Bhagavan about it. And Bhagavan said, the war is also in the mind of the questioner only. Where is war? War is only in the mind of the questioner. When we get caught up, don't think that getting caught up in the world is only to do with pleasure and temptations and so on. This is also getting caught up in this world. Current affairs. People want to be abreast, they want to know everything that is happening in every corner of the world. They need to know the news. You know what it does? It goes until you are capable of handling all of those things, it goes in and disturbs your bhava. With difficulty, you manage to strike one spark of bhava. Vardhan, is it easy? Most of the days people say, I feel so dry, I do not feel connected to God, this, that, and the other. Somehow, suddenly one bhava comes, then you douse it with so much nonsense that disturb your inner being, your inner space. Not necessary. See, you do not have to worry about the problems of the world. It is not your world. You did not create it. You are not the center of this world. Somebody has created it and he is maintaining it. If it is your role, you will know it is your role. At that time, it is enough if you step in and do your duty. Without that, if you start unnecessarily poking your nose into all the affairs of this world, what will happen is you will lose what little bhava you have and be completely lost. Similarly, turmoils of the people that you know. Doesn't have to be some faraway continent, some trouble happening. People that you know also. You are going in some bhakti, some bhava. Somebody calls and says, oh, we are having so much problem. What will you do? If you, the moment you concentrate on that, your bhava is gone. Is it easy to get that bhava back? Tell me. So they call, what should you do? Don't get caught up in it. Keep away. You practice Sathya, Dharma, Shanti and Prema. You tell them, all right, I do not need any details. I will pray. To pray, you don't need details. No? You are not a doctor to know all the details. No? You are not going to prescribe a medicine. They have a problem. It is enough if they say they have a problem. Don't go and ask, then what happened? Then what is the detail of this problem? Then so on and so forth. You are unnecessarily downloading all kinds of nonsensical information into your head. In the end, they will get out of the problem, you will be stuck with it. To them, it may not even be a problem. It may just tomorrow, next day, it will become all right. You would have lost your connection with God. That bhava with difficulty that you get will go away. That is why Swami says here, keep away from the turmoils, cruelties and the falsehoods of this world, because at the end of the day, ellam poi, everything is a lie, everything is unreal. Somebody comes and says, I have a problem, your problem is unreal. There is no reality to it, isn't it? Is there a reality? Can you even pretend that there is a reality to it? There is no reality to it. So when we get caught up in the problems of others, you are going to waste your time. You are not going to be of any use to them also. By getting caught into their problem, if you are going to solve their problem, at least it can be considered a selfless act and sacrifice. That is not going to happen. You are also going to drown along with them. What is the use? If a person who does not know how to swim jumps into the water to rescue a drowning person, what is going to happen? Instead of one death, there will be two deaths. Is there anything going to be achieved by it? Instead, learn swimming. Spend your time learning swimming instead of jumping into the pond every time you see somebody drowning. You spend the time learning how to swim. Then after that, if you want, you can jump. Isn't it? So before you go solving the problems of this world, solve your problems first. Learn how to swim. Then you can go and get them also. Satharati lokans tarayati. He will also cross, he will help others also cross. So do not unnecessarily this is not selflessness. This is stupidity. There is another word for it. It is not selflessness, it is idiocy, it is stupidity. I don't know how to swim, but selflessly I will jump into the pond. Then good luck. It is literally your funeral. What is the use? So, sadhakas, especially Swami says every aspirant, sadhakas who seek to attain the eternal through bhakti should keep away from all this disturbing information. Disturbing news, you stay away. Nobody is asking you to voluntarily go and look up all those things. And courageously keep faith in what? That there is God. Have faith. இப்பாரில் எப்போதும் எல்லாம் இறையருளால் தப்பாது அணுவளவும் சரியாய் நடப்பதாக எப்போது நீ அறிவாயோ அப்போதே சாந்தி அடைவாய் மனமே. இப்பாரில் எப்போதும், in this world, at all times, everything is happening perfectly by the divine grace. Do not worry, God has not fallen asleep on the wheel for you to be awake. He knows, He is aware, He is awake. He has been running this world for long before you even came into existence. Even before you were a tiny cell inside your mother's womb, the world has been running. So what is the need for us to get caught up in all of this, especially those of us who are seeking the truth? Idella unreal, falsehood. Adhanala those who seek union with God should be like a horse with blinkers. That is called one-pointedness. Don't worry about the world. If I do like this, the world will talk bad about me. Swami says, no one, not even a great Mahapurusha or an Avatara, can ever escape criticism and blame. Somebody will blame you because munde matir bhinna. Different people have different ideologies and thoughts. So you say something, somebody is going to appreciate it and somebody else is going to find a problem with it. This is natural. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, if one person likes it, one person will not like it. What can you do about the person who does not like it? If somebody doesn't like it, whose problem is it? Whose problem? It is their problem. They have a problem. What can we do? We are sticking to dharma. We are sticking to our sadhana. If somebody has a problem with that, அது நமக்கு என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? அவரோட problem. So even when they are criticized, such people do not bend, they hold on to the truth. The truth will not yield to threats. The real nature of the Mahapurusha or the Avatar is realized by those who indulge in criticism or blame only after they wade through unbearable trouble. Then they also start to praise. The weakness of ignorance is the cause of this failure. So let sadhakas keep away from all such ignorant people and desist from discussing their beliefs and convictions with them. Instead, let them become immersed in the holy books and be in the company of the devotees of the Lord. Later, much later, rich with the experience of realization and courageous on account of contact with that reality, they can mix in any company without danger and then even endeavor to direct other minds onto the truth that they themselves have seen. Not now. Now you have no business telling the truth to anybody. Why? No, two reasons. One, your words have absolutely zero power. Zero power. It is a waste of time and breath. You may be on the phone trying to convince them, no, you must do this, you must do that. Useless, because you have not done it. So your words will have no effect, no power. Who should speak? Now, Mahapurushas, Mahatmas, if they say once, it will have impact. It will go bang, it will hit. We don't have to waste our time doing all of those things. What should we do? Don't discuss your beliefs with anybody. Don't try to convince anybody. Don't try to teach anybody. You go and find the truth for yourself. Later on, if it is your role, then you can go and mix with any company. At that time, you can transform them also. Until then, you stick in satsanga. Otherwise, what little bit you have also will go away with the fluid. Three types can be recognized. Three types of people can be recognized amongst those who seek to do good deeds and tread the path of self-realization. Sadhakas, astikas and sadhakas. They do good things. Shubhakriti ellarum. They are doing good things. And they are also trying to be spiritual, so called I am also spiritual. But there are three types of such people that you can delineate, Swami says. The first one are those who are frightened by troubles, losses, and difficulties to begin the endeavor. They are the lowest type. They want it. I want to do good, but very hard, too difficult, too much criticism will come. I know if I get it, better not do it. I actually want to do sadhana, but I have heard those who do sadhana go through a lot of vedana. I've seen that fellow, he started doing japa. Ever since he started doing japa, business went for a loss. That other fellow, he went and joined a yoga class. After that, his wife left him and went away. That other fellow, he went and did this, and then this happened. Looking at all of these things, they will say, no, best is to not start at all. This is the lowest category of people. Then the second category, Swami says, are those who, after having undertaken the journey and gone some distance, are depressed and defeated by obstacles and disappointments and give up in the middle. This is the middling type. They gave up in the middle. Mediocre. At least they started. At least they started and went a little bit of distance, but they could not have the dum in them to continue. So they gave up halfway. I don't think I can do it today. But you should not be like that fellow who had to go a distance, a race. So he went half the distance and he said, Mudiyadappa, I can't do it. And he went back to the starting point. He went half the distance and said, I can't do it, and went back to the starting point. What's the use? It's the same distance you have travelled anyway. If you kept going forward, you would have reached the destination. So you shouldn't be like that also. Middle type, they start with enthusiasm. Aramba Shura and Swami Cholvar. Swami would refer to these people as Aramba Shura. Aramba Shura, we are all guilty of this. No? Most of us are guilty of it. We start with a bang and then end with a whimper. Sadhana, japa, or diet, or exercise, we will start. Start with the great gusto as though that is it, we are going to turn the world around. After some time, no news. Middle type. Small useless things, if you let go in the middle, does not matter. I am not talking about letting go of those useless things. I am talking about devotion, I am talking about sadhana, I am talking about spirituality. There, what is the point of letting go? Then there are the highest type, the third type. Those who steadfastly adhere to the path with calmness and courage. Whatever the nature of the travail, however hard the road, these are, of course, of the highest type. This steadfastness, this faith and constancy is the characteristic of a bhakta. Steadfastly adhering to the path, no matter what happens, calmness is there, courage is there, constancy is there. These are the highest bhaktas. In fact, these are the characteristics of the bhaktani Solutar Swami. If you lack all of these things, you cannot be called a bhakta. Swami says, if you let go in between, then that is not the sign of a bhakta. You may be deluded by attachment to this illusory world and attracted by temporal joy, but don't barter away the means of achieving permanent and complete happiness. Carry on your spiritual duties with Purna Bhakti, full devotion. God cannot be known without this faith and steadfastness. The Lord comes only through Parabhakti, supreme devotion. Supreme devotion only through supreme wisdom, Jnana. Supreme wisdom only through faith, Shraddha. And faith only through love, Prema. How do you get the Bhagavan? Through Parabhakti, you get Bhagavan. How do you get Parabhakti? Through Paramajnana, you get Parabhakti. How do you get Paramajnana? Through Shraddhavan Labate Jnanam, through Shraddha. How do you get Shraddhana? Through Prema. So Prema becomes the starting point of it. So what is Prema and what is Parabhakti? When the Prema reaches the outermost boundaries, Parakashta, then it becomes Parama Prema or Parabhakti. I remember in an interview I asked Swami, what is Parabhakti? Adi Parama Prema, Inkemi. That is Parama Prema. Swami, what is Parabhakti? Parabhakti is Parama Prema. Prema, when it reaches the highest, it becomes Parabhakti. The Lord comes only through Parabhakti, which comes only through Paramajnana, which comes only through Shraddha, which the starting point of which is Prema, love. Don't be deluded by attachment. Swami says here, see, don't barter away, don't give away, don't exchange your bhava, don't exchange the bhakti that you have, don't exchange the method that you, the time that you have for the sake of all these temporary things. While doing it, if you can have the temporary things, that is all right, but do not give up this for that, it is not worth it. So work with Prema, develop Shraddha, through Shraddha get Jnana, through Jnana get the highest form of Bhakti, Parabhakti, where you simply want to empty yourself into Him. See, Prema na, when you start off with love, I love you, but I love you because you are nice to me, you are good to me, you are kind to me, you are compassionate to me, and I will get something out of you. Garamari we start. But even though we start like that, we get Shraddha in Him, we get faith in Him, because we knows that He is capable of everything, and we also become one-pointed. Slowly we gain one-pointedness. That one-pointedness, that sincerity, that awareness gives us, that attention on Him gives us jnana. Then when you attain jnana, what happens? Then that is when the magic starts. You know how some people they say, life starts after 50. In order to make themselves feel good, they will say life starts after 50. Like that, spiritual life starts after jnana. Not before jnana, after jnana. Until then, other life you are struggling. Until then, there is only struggle. After jnana, only you are living. Until then, you are merely surviving. But after you attain jnana, what happens? That is when you open your eyes and you see this divinity with completely different vision altogether. Aha. Aha. At that time, you do not seek anything. There is nothing more that you need. You have attained the Paramalabha, the highest profit. But in spite of all of that, when you are fully satisfied and you look at this Lord, at that time you feel, what can I do for you? What is it that I cannot do for you? In what manner and way shall I dedicate my entire being for you? Can I lay my life at your feet? What can I do for you? You feel a sense of it. Even to use the word gratitude doesn't seem appropriate, because it is not even gratitude. There is no need for gratitude. You are the same. But there is something in it. That is the only word we can use for it, is Parama Prema, Parabhakti. But there is something from within that says, yo, I just want to be like a slave to you. What for? Nothing. I do not know why. Don't ask me why and wherefore. This is how I feel. This is Parama Prema. When we reach this stage, we will attain God. Parama Prema gives Bhagavan to us. But for all of that, first Prema. Little Prema, then Parama Prema. But how is this love to be cultivated? Through two methods, Swami says, but through two means. Always consider the faults of others, however big, to be insignificant and negligible. Always consider the faults of others, however big, to be insignificant and negligible. Always consider your own faults, however insignificant and negligible, to be big. Feel sad and repentant. By these means, you avoid developing bigger faults and defects, and you acquire the qualities of brotherliness and forbearance. First, prema you develop prema with people. How do you develop love with others now? If you keep on looking at mistakes of others, kutram parkin, shutram illai. Kutram parkin, shutram illai. There is a beautiful Tamil saying which says, if you find faults, then you cannot have anybody near you. You cannot have anybody close to you. You cannot love anybody, because you are constantly finding fault with them. They also cannot love you, you also cannot love them. So do not look at the faults of others. Do not find faults with people. Finding fault with somebody is like poking a scab. Don't find fault with anybody. Even if it is big, treat it as negligible. Edo, let it be. Let it go. But at the same time, whenever you have a little fault, you make a big deal of it. Consider it to be big. So that you feel repentant and you pray to God and say, Bhagavan, I do not want these kind of things. I do not want this kind of an existence. This faulty fault na enna. What is fault? What is fault? What is fault? Selfishness. Selfishness is fault. Selfishness is the impurity. Selfishness is the weakness. Everything, rest of it is not weakness. Rest of it is not a problem. Selfishness is the problem. So when you give up your selfishness, then you become fault free. So even the little bit of selfishness that you have, sit there and pound your head, Ayyo, I am so selfish, alas, I am so selfish, alas, I am so selfish. When will I become selfless? When can I live for others? I am only catering to my own needs, my own behavioral patterns, my own nature. What about others? How do you become thoughtful of others? Even the smallest fault in others you ignore. So the biggest fault in others you ignore. So what? Let it be. Doesn't matter. How do you become the bigger person? Yeah. So later he has a fault. Say, doesn't matter. But within you do not have any selfishness. First Swami says, why should I do it? What labha? That is the seed of prema. This is how we get prema. The quality of saubhratritvam, brotherliness. Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the brotherhood of man and the fatherhood of God in short. That brotherhood of man will come only when you ignore the faults of others. And you will develop forbearance. You will learn to put up with everything. This is first one. Second method of developing love. Whatever you do with yourself or with others, do it remembering that God is omnipresent. He sees and hears and knows everything. Whatever you speak, remember that God hears every word. Discriminate between the truth and the false and speak only the truth. Whatever you do, discriminate between dharma and adharma and do only dharma. Endeavor every moment to be aware of the omnipotence of God. This is the second method. First, ignore the faults of others. Second, but consider your own faults as big and rectify. But ignore the faults of others, first one. Second is, remember he is always watching. Swami is watching. Swami knows. So when you are behaving in a certain way, he knows. And you know what he likes and does not like. Like I said in the morning, if you are being selfish, you have already forgotten God. If you are being selfish, you have already forgotten God. Because if you remembered God, then you will not be selfish because you know that He doesn't like you to be selfish. If you are ignoring Him and being selfish, now you have forgotten Him. So remember Him. Remember His omnipresence. Remember that He is seeing everything that you do, listening to everything that you do. He knows everything that you do. No matter where you are, how far away, even across the seven seas, know that I know everything. Shri Baba says. He knows everything. So, you've got to be aware that He is watching. Then that will automatically set us right. We will become all right. The body is the temple of the jiva. So, whatever happens in the body becomes the concern of the individual. But in the same manner, the world itself is the body of God. And all that happens in it, good or bad, is His concern. From the observed fact of the individual and the body, learn the truth of that which you cannot observe between the Lord and the world. Isn't it? Swami is giving this example not to tell you that you have to be concerned about your body. But normally, each person looks after his own body. My body, you have a sense of an ownership and you look after your body. Like that, God's body is this universe. He will look after it. It is His concern. You don't have to worry about it. It is His concern. He will look after it. So what do we need to do? Learn that He knows and let it. He is looking after it and let go. The relationship between the Jiva and Ishvara, the kinship between the two, can be grasped by the one who has these three chief instruments. A mind unsullied by attachment and hatred, raga and dvesha. A speech unsullied by falsehood, and a body unsullied by violence. Three things. a mind, speech and body. Epame manovakayam. The one who has got these three pure instruments can recognize the relationship between Ishvara and Jiva. Apart all these problems will not arise for them. What is this? What are these three? The first one is the mind that is unpolluted by raga and dvesha, likes and dislikes. I like this, I dislike this, I like this, I dislike this. My life is running. But give up all of that, the mind becomes purified from raga dvesha. That is the first one. Vak, speech, which is untainted by falsehood. Only truth is there on the tongue. In a padina they sang Jihva take Sathya na bole. Even if the tongue becomes tired, it will not tell a lie. So even when the tongue is tired, it will not tell a lie. The speech that has got no falsehood in it. And finally, the body that is unsullied by violence. What is violence? Ahimsa Swami. I remember once during Samakosh time we were in Trai Vrindavan and Swami was talking about violence at that time. I was saying, what is violence? What is ahimsa? What is himsa? Ahimsa, no, doing, not hurting anybody. So Swami said, what about yourself? What about yourself? Not hurting yourself also. You should not hurt yourself also. How do you hurt yourself? Who wants to hurt themselves? How do you hurt yourself now? Swami says, if you eat the wrong food, you are hurting yourself. If you see the wrong things, you are hurting yourself. If you hear wrong things, you are hurting yourself. So to the five senses, if you are going to take something that is not good for you, then you are hurting yourself. That is also violence. So don't think violence means I go punch somebody. No, most of us are very non-violent that way. Most of us are practicing ahimsa. We don't go and hit randomly, we don't keep hitting people. Some people don't even if they see a spider, they will catch it and then put it outside. Even a mosquito, they will try to and they will put it outside. Andalavuku non-violence we practice. But what about to the body? To this own body, we are very violent. We eat whatever we want, see whatever we want, listen to whatever we want, hurting it all the time, abusing it all the time, giving pain to it all the time. That is also violence. We eat for the tongue, then we have stomach ache. Is it not violence to the stomach? Is it not violence to the stomach? Think about it. The violence thane. So, non-violence including to oneself. So, the body unsullied by violence. So, these three things you have to cultivate. Mind unsullied by raga, dvesha, likes and dislikes. Speech unsullied by falsehood or untruth. And body unsullied by violence. Joy and peace do not inhere in external objects. They are in you yourself. But in your foolishness, you search for them outside yourself in a world from which today or tomorrow you are bound to depart. Therefore, awake soon. Try to know the essence of everything, the eternal truth. Try to experience the love that is God itself. Discriminate at every turn, accepting what is true and discarding the rest. As long as you have worldly desires in view, you cannot escape sorrow. Next paragraph, Swami said. Joy and peace, where are they? Within yourself, not outside. Foolishly you are seeking it in the world. But in this world, how long can you stay in this world? You have to depart from this world one day or the other. When you know that you do not have a permanent residence here, why are you bothering? See, if you don't have a PR, Australian PR or citizen, will you buy a house? People come on work permit. People come from India on a work permit. When they come 457 visa. When they come on a work permit, what do? They rent a house somewhere. They buy second hand fridge and second hand goods because they know after 3 years they have to go back. After 2 years they have to go back to India. So they will not waste their time building a house or doing all the kinds of things, isn't it? When will you do all of that? Oh, I am permanently going to be in Australia. I got a PR or I got my citizenship. Now I will buy a house. When you buy a house? Even from a normal, common little thing, we do this, no? We don't build permanent structures when we know we are not going to be there permanently. In this world, are we going to be there permanently? We are not going to be there permanently. That means, should I never buy a house? It's an example, so understand it properly. Don't be an idiot. Don't make me explain everything. Otherwise, question will come. Then should I not buy a house? Don't seek joy from this world. Don't seek joy and peace from outside this world from which you are going to go. Seek it within yourself. That is the meaning. Doesn't mean I should not buy a house or I should not build a house. Such nonsense we are not talking about. Awaken soon. Wake up. Wake up and understand that I have to know the essence or the eternal truth. Experience the love that is God. To do that, discriminate and accept only the truth, rejecting falsehood. What does it mean? What is truth? It's Brahma Sathya. What is falsehood? Everything else is false. Accept Brahman, reject the rest of it. It is there, but there is no validity to it. There is no need for it. There is no importance to it. If it is there, it is there. If it is not there, it is not there. My relationship is with Ishvara. My relationship is with God. The rest, if they are there, good. I am not saying I am not going to drive them out. If they are not there, I am not going to call them back. My relationship is with Ishvara. Job is there, not there. Money is there, not there. Family is there, not there. Whatever is there, not there. Doesn't matter. My relationship is with God. He is there. Yes, He is there. Can He go anywhere from us? He is always there. So what is our problem? Finished. Slowly, I am not saying overnight. Slowly, you have got to come to this firm conviction, firmness in faith and belief. He is there for me. He is looking after me. He is the only one that I am going to look up to and ask. I am not even going to ask anybody else for anything. Enakku avanukku relationship. So discriminate at every turn. Whenever a desire springs up within us, discriminate and ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it real? Is it permanent? Is this what I have come here for? So if it comes, okay, fine. If it doesn't come, that's also fine. I am interested in Him. But Swami also gives a caution here. But as long as you have worldly desires in view, you cannot escape sorrow. Sorrow is only because of desires. If you are free from desires, there is no sorrow. Some desire or the other. Desire is not merely for objects, desire for situations also, desire for a particular status quo also. That's also desire. I want like this, life like this. That is also a desire. What do we know? He knows better. He knows best. He has a better plan. We do not even know what is right and what is wrong. So whatever He wants is fine. Because again, relationship is with Him only. So in this manner, we have got to live our lives. Many people slander image worship, but its basis is really one's capacity to see the macrocosm in the microcosm. The value of image worship is testified by experience. It doesn't depend on one's imaginative faculty. What is found in the form of the Lord, the Virat Swarupa, is also found undiminished and unalloyed in the image form, Swarupa. Images serve the same purpose as metaphors and similes in poetry. They illustrate, amplify and clarify. Joy comes not through the shape of things, but through the relationship established. Not any child, but her child makes the mother happy. So also with each one and with all things, with each and everything in the universe, if one establishes that kinship, that godly love, Ishvara Prema, then truly an overpowering joy can be experienced. Only those who have felt it can understand it. One section mudichittu Swami is moving on to a next section. It looks abrupt, but moving on to a next section. Swami talks about image worship. Ishvara Aradhana, because we do not have the capacity to see Him everywhere. So, for our sake, what has He done? He has enshrined Himself in the form of the little vigrahas or the photos in which we look at Him and praise Him and worship Him. And Swami says it is not simply your imagination, it is testified by experience. It is not your imagination, it is not that, oh, I imagine some glory, some greatness from this God. It is reality. I remember how once we had gone to Tirupati up the hill, Tirumala. And we had, a couple had come with us from here, Australia. They are Buddhist. They are not Hindus, Sai devotees. They come to satsang, so they had come with us. And those of you who have been to Tirumala, you know what kind of rush is there in the temple all the time. You have long queues and waiting and then getting squeezed and everybody wanting to go, and then finally only 2 seconds you have to stay, you're pushed. So these two people who are not interested at all, at least we are interested in seeing Perumal. We are going there because we know about him, we want to see him. These two poor people are coming only because of their association with me. Otherwise, why would they even bother? So they came. So while going through all of that, waiting and what, they thought would have come to them, what on earth, why? I could have simply sat at home and said, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami. Why am I getting squeezed here? Everybody is squeezing, everyone, ouch, ouchami. Hanga gachami. But you know what happened? We went, and when you finally go in, you cannot go together. No matter how you go, everybody gets separated. You have to hold your children on their hands, otherwise even children will be separated. So everybody goes in. It's like a bottleneck, literally. So everybody got separated, but where will you get separated? Everybody comes to the same place. But and another beautiful thing about going to standing in front of that sanctum sanctorum is that you do not remember who you came with also. The moment you stand there and you look at him, everything is forgotten, including your own body. Who will you remember who came, where they are, when? Who cares? Anandama Divyamangala Vigraham is standing there. After looking at that, what more do you want? We are lost. Anyway, moving here and there, we come out. And I came out, I was waiting, and this gentleman came out. And you could see the whole face was big smile, some ananda. I don't know what I felt. It was so wonderful. I want to see again. That is the Sakshat Narayana, it is Perumal, Girumal, nothing, they don't know all those things. They only information, they cannot relate to anything. But when they stand in front of that shrine, when they stand in front of the deity, even if you do not know a thing, you feel it. Can we call this imagination, or should we call it something that is testified by experience? The value of image worship is testified by experience. It is not merely one's imaginative faculty. It is true, it is real. You go to Tirunamari, you look at Arunachala, you cannot say, oh no, I have to feel something. It comes and makes you feel. What are you going to do about it? Isn't it? What is found in that Vishwavirat Swarupa is what is also found in that Vigraha, in that image of the Lord. Why? That is his Sankalpa. In fact, what cannot be found there will be found in this. You look at the universe, you cannot find God in it. You are searching, but you look at that Vigraham, you can see God in it. It is a Sankalpa. Here I am visible. So, the Vigrahas of the Lord serve the same purpose as metaphors and similes in poetry. They illustrate, amplify and clarify. But at the same time, having said this, the real joy does not come merely from the shape, but it comes from the relationship that you have with that form. And the relationship is mukhya. For those who are standing there in front of it, they are immediately affected by it. So many people came to Swami, not knowing why. The moment they looked at Swami, they cried. After that, they went away. They never came back to Parthi. They never bothered about Swami. Then why did you cry? No, the power of that force is influencing. After that, you have to create a relationship with it. If you do not create a relationship, then not any child, but her child makes the mother happy. Like that, for us also, you have to establish a connection with God. It is not enough if you simply call the name of God. Swami says, you must have a relationship with God. Chumma calling the name of the Lord also is not enough. Relationship though, if you call the name of the Lord, then He will respond to you. then He will respond to you. So, develop that Ishvara Prema, that kinship. If one establishes that kinship with the Lord, that Ishvara Prema, then Swami சொல்றாருங்க, then it is truly an overpowering joy, and only those who have experienced it can understand it. The rest of them will be wondering what are they talking about. So get that relationship with God. Vedas and Puranas deserve to be read and heard. God's name is to be recited and listened to. For some ailments, medicines are prescribed for external applications. For others, you are given medicines for internal use. But for the universal ailment of the cycle of birth and death, Bhavaroga, what is the remedy? Listening to spiritual discourses, Shravanam, singing God's name, Kirtanam, are the medicines that are given for external and internal use. For external use only, enadana Shravanam. Internal use, enna Mananam. Mananam, Namata, repeating the name, calling the name of the Lord is the internal medicine. Kirtanam is the internal medicine. Shravanam is the external medicine. Why external medicine? Because Shravanam is coming from outside. Somebody is saying, you are listening. This words, the sound is coming from outside. That is the external application. Nama is coming from within you. That is the internal application. So, external use medicine, internal use medicine for Bhavaroga. Shravanam and Kirtanam. Listen to Satsanga. Listen to the discourses on the truth. Listen to stories of the Lord. Listen to the glories of the Lord. And then you sing out the name of the Lord. One has to utter as well as hear the Lord's name. An aspirant might win God's grace, the Guru's grace, and the grace of devotees of the Lord. But all this grace is still of no avail if another grace is not secured. What is that grace now? Your own grace, the grace of the inner consciousness, Antakarana. Without this grace, the aspirant falls into perdition, for all the rest are of no account whatsoever. God's grace, Guru's grace. Ramana Bhagavan kita uttar kepa. Somebody comes to Bhagavan and says, Bhagavan, I want Guru's grace, God's grace. Bhagavan says, God's grace is always there, Guru's grace is always there. What is needed is only your grace. Because without your grace, what is the use? You have to have the grace to do Kirtanam. God's grace will allow you to listen to the discourse. Shravanam will happen. Anna, without your grace, you will not do Kirtanam. You will not sing the name of the Lord. So sing, call the name of the Lord. Remember and call the name of the Lord. Utter the name of the Lord. Hear the name of the Lord. Keep your life in such a way that He alone is important to you. How many people are willing to do it? Tell me. Kvachit. Little bit here and there. He alone is important. இதுதான் நான் அடிக்கிற வேப்பில் இது ஒன்று தான். In Tamil சொல்லுவோம் வேப்பில் அடிக்கிறதுன்னு சொல்லுவோம். Exercising. It is repeatedly saying the same thing over and over and again. That is all I will keep saying until my last breath. God alone is important. God alone is important. God alone is important. Repeatedly, this is what I have to say. Who takes it up and does it is up to them, but I have to keep saying this. Make your life in such a way that the relationship that you have with Him alone is important. That is the most important thing. The grace of God also is not so easily attained. The feeling of ahankara, which makes one say, I am the doer, should be plucked by the roots from the heart. Only then God's grace can come. With ahankara, grace is not possible. Here, clarification is necessary. Swami has said this, but I will clarify it. God's grace is not easily attainable, Swami says. Actually, it is omnipresent, but it is not attained. See, it is standing outside, but you have built a wall. What can grace do? What can grace has raised to you? It has raised and rushed to you, but you have then raised a wall and you are preventing grace from coming in. What to do? Teli is wall. This is ahankara. So God's grace is not attained as long as I am the doer. I am the doer is there. The I am the doer is very insidious, it takes various forms. Pride is one of the most obvious forms of I am the doer. Guilt is another form of I am the doer. Guilt is another form. Oh no, I am like this, I am like that, I am doing this and I am doing that. That is form. That is also I am the doer. Who is the doer? Very subtle it is. Aham karta, I am the doer, is a very subtle poison. One has to be very vigilant to get rid of it. The only way in which we can get rid of it is naham, naham, tvam, not me, you. Or by saying ami jantra, ma jantri. Ami jantra, ma jantri. I am the instrument. The divine is the doer. He is the operator. I am only the instrument. God is the doer. The constant we should have that. No matter, see, the world around you will try and brainwash you into thinking, no, you, don't take it. Don't take any responsibility. Let anybody say, let your amma say, appa say, tata say, party say. Let your husband say, wife say, children say, no, you. Many parents are such idiots. They come and tell me, I know, I feel guilty for having raised my children wrong. I feel like slapping them when they say it sometimes. How much arrogance they have. They think they are responsible for the prarabdha of the child. The child's prarabdha makes you behave in a certain way. Prahlada's prarabdha made Hiranyakashipu behave in his way. What can Hiranyakashipu do? He was loving father only. Why would he want to throw the son from the mountain and make it be trampled by elephants? That's Prahlada's prarabdha. He had to be walked over by an elephant. He had to be thrown from the mountain. What will Hiranyakashipu do? Why does one child get a good father? Why does one child get a father like Hiranyakashipu? That's child's prarabdha. He got that father. Otherwise, he would have got some other father. How are we responsible? So don't blame your parents. Blame yourself. Parents, don't blame yourself. Blame your children. Or as a child, if you are feeling sad, I am giving sorrow to my parents. Children, don't blame yourself, blame your parents. They deserve that sorrow. What to do? What can you do? You are merely an instrument. You are God's instrument to give them sorrow. A debt collector calls and says, you owe Telstra so much money. What to do? He is only a messenger. No? You owe Telstra money. He is merely the debt collector asking you to pay. Like that, children are also debt collectors only. You owe God something. They come and tell you, oi, kudu, give. Children are also not responsible. Parents are also not responsible. But who is responsible? He is responsible. Let him be responsible. What is our problem? World will tell you otherwise. That is why it is otherwise. It is not wise. Don't listen to the words of the world. It is otherwise only. It is not real wise. You be wise and understand that as long as the I am the doer bhava is there in you, so long you will not be able to attain God's grace. You must pluck it out by the roots from the heart. Everyone, be they learned or illiterate, should feel an overwhelming urge to know God. God has equal affection towards all his children, for to illumine is the nature of light. Utilizing that illumination, some read good books and some can do their daily tasks, whatever they are. So too, utilizing that, they can do wicked deeds also. In the same manner, uttering God's name, one can progress in the realization of God or do wicked deeds also. There are so many people that cheat and defraud others in the name of God. So many wars are fought and innocents are harmed and killed in the name of God. Those are also using God's name only. Or you can forge your way towards the highest truth of self-realization. It all depends on how you use it. But the Lord's name is without blemish forever and always. So listen, contemplate and call out the name of the Lord. Constantly Call out to Him. Feel Him. Call out to Him. So that one day or the other you will hear Him talking to you. Swami moves on to the next topic where he says, haven't people trained themselves in countless skills, arts and sciences? Haven't they devised countless machines? Haven't they accumulated vast tomes of knowledge? Nevertheless, they haven't attained peace of mind, which is so essential for happiness. Instead, with every passing day, this education drags them into deeper and deeper waters, while peace recedes more and more into the distance. The reason can be stated thus. These arts and sciences have only a transitory value. These machines cater to worldly comfort. This knowledge is all about temporary, transitory things. This education does not reveal the innermost secret of the universe. There is one secret that, if known, lays bare all secrets. There is one problem that, if solved, solves all others. There is one knot that, if untied, loosens all other knots. There is one science that, if mastered, masters all. That key science is spiritual education. Sanatana Vidya, Adhyatma Vidya. It's pretty evident to everybody. Everything that is temporary cannot give you long lasting happiness. Essential, eternal happiness I cannot give. I can only come from Sanatana Vidya, Adhyatma Vidya, spiritual education that seeks to know God. If a tree has to be destroyed, its tap root has to be cut. There is no use trying to kill it by plucking the leaves one by one, for it takes too long and may not work also. The ancient Vedic seers knew this Vidya, but Indians today are ashamed to claim the rishis as their kith and kin. The rishis saw God through their tapasya and won the grace of the Lord. They expounded this Vidya that they so boldly discovered. Seekers from other countries read these books and then said that Bharata has blazed a trail for the whole world. This is a well known fact, that the lamp illumines the house, but at the very foot of the lamp there lurks a dark circle. India doesn't know or care for the treasure. What can we ascribe this to? The play of fate and keep quiet? Can we ascribe this to simply the play of fate and keep quiet? Swami Kekara. Adhyatma Vidya arose in Bharata. The glories of the Rishi Parampara, we have spoken enough about it. The other day also, we were looking at how accurately the old Indian tradition of Panchangam, almanac, can predict the occurrences of eclipses. From the starting time to the ending time, they predict it exactly. Not today. This has been happening for centuries. It's been happening because eclipse is something that we follow as a religious rite. No telescope, no machinery, no nothing. But accurately they predict the varying angles of the sun, and based on that we celebrate Makara Shankaranti, Mahashivaratri, so many festivals we celebrate. All of that are based upon the presence, the movement of the sun. Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, ellam we celebrate. All these things we know. How did our rishis know? What did they have? What scientific instruments did they have to predict all of these things? Yeah, every year, we produce the Panchangam. Almanac is produced in our Indian traditions, in South India, etc. In Telugu, Kannada, in Tamil, everywhere it is produced. And it is produced for the whole year, from Ugadi to the next thing, or from Tamil New Year to the next, from 14th of April to next 13th of April, it will be there in that. And in that, all the eclipses that are coming, what time, whether it is seen in India or not. Only eclipses that are seen in India will be listed in that. Those are not seen in India will not be listed. And this is how it has happened for centuries. How? How are they able to know all of these things? How did our rishis know all of these things? If you think a little bit about it, they did not rely on anything external to know this. They went within. They went within. How did so much of Ayurvedic knowledge come into existence? For everything there is a herb. They have understood, they found out. How? Look, can you imagine experimenting with each herb? Common weeds are also sometimes used as medicines in Ayurveda. How do they know? Can it be trial and error? They meditated. They would meditate. A naughty problem. Somebody has a disease. They don't know what to do. They'll close their eyes and meditate on God. They'll pray. They'll fast. The doctor will fast. Will purify themselves and meditate. Sit in meditation. It's not selflessness. This is selflessness. Can you imagine this selflessness? An Ayurvedic physician of those days, if they have a problem that they cannot solve, they will fast. They will not tell the patient to fast. They will fast. Because they will know it is only when I reach a certain inner purity that the solution will be revealed to me. They will purify themselves. Then they will sit in prayer. What? I have tried all these things, nothing is working. What? In their meditation, something will be revealed to them. They will go and apply that, it will work. And then what will they do? They will add that to the list. So these kind of things, this will also cure. They will get added to the body of knowledge. No animals are harmed in the process. So much knowledge we have. Have you ever heard of monkeys and rats being trapped in cages and being fed all kinds of herbs to find out which works in Ayurveda? Dhyana avastha. By going within, they find out the solutions. Isn't that the ideal way to do it? That is the Bharatiya Samskriti. In the past ages, Bharatiyas performed their daily rites, sat in purified places, surrounded by sacredness, and immersed themselves in the study and the practice of the teachings of the Vedas and the Upanishads. They recorded their experiences in order to guide others to bring those experiences back again into their consciousness. But their children and grandchildren placed the books on the altar and duly worshipped them. Neglect turned them to dust or lumber. The palm leaves disintegrated. Rats ate into them. Eager students from the West sought out this lumber, realizing that it enshrines incomparable sources of illumination, priceless pearls of wisdom. They lift it reverentially above their heads and acclaim it as the precious gift of the Bharata Khanda to themselves and their children. They carry it across the seas with joy in their eyes and thankfulness in their heart. Then Swami says here, but shall I reveal what the children of Bharata have been doing? What the children of India have been doing? They don't open the pages. They don't peruse the contents. They don't even concern themselves with them. 1 in a million reads them, but even he is ridiculed as a fool and a crank. People laugh at the books as a conglomeration of lies and legends and argue about the historicity of the books and their authors. They dismiss Sanskrit as a very hard to learn language and pass on the treasures to scholars from other lands. What a sad spectacle this is. It would have been some compensation if at least they attended to the study of their own mother tongue, but even this they failed to do. It is neglect everywhere. Swami is venting, Pao, his pet peeve. All the time Swami would lament the fall of Bharatiya Samskriti, how it was not being given the importance that it should be given. And that is why he instilled it in all of us. People don't realize it. People think, too much Indianification. Even in within the organization and so on, they will say too much Indian. Everything came from here. What is wrong in accepting? Arey, Swami himself came from there. What's your problem? If you can't accept India, don't accept Swami. So where did Swami come from? Did he not choose to be born in Bharat? Was he born in your country? Even Swami chose to be born in Bharat. All the avatars are born in Bharat. Well, no Indian stuff. No, what nonsense. But they are also not the only ones to be blamed. Swami says we ourselves are to be blamed. So-called Bharatiyas also, what do they do? What do Bharatiyas do? Even in India, we dress up in Western clothes only. I saw a nice article the other day. English news channels in India, the anchors are all dressed in Western clothes. All English news channels in India, no, the anchors, men and women, are all dressed in Western clothes. They won't wear a pottu, they will wear hair like this. Men will wear suits, gits, vernacular things, they will wear saris. Tamil channel, or something, that's where they wear. Push, push, push. Tip, toop, tap, toop, toop. Like Thakur says. Western, Western, Western. There's one word that is commonly used for aping the West. Aping the West. Yeah, no, appropriate word usage. But regardless, anyway, this is how the status of the world is, sadly or not so. But at least there is some revival happening, thanks to Swami, thanks to the efforts of Swami. He made sure that these value systems got incorporated into everybody, and so many people are now doing it also. Sadguru Jaggi Vasudev, I have to take hats off to him, appreciate the extraordinary way in which he has reached out to the entire world. So many Westerners also come to him, and he is so beautiful in explaining our Indian tradition, our yogic tradition. He calls it the yogic tradition. It is Rishi Parampara only, there is no difference. So boldly carrying it and reaching it out and letting everybody know about it. He is a true son of Bharat. He is a true son of Bharat, a true descendant of the Rishis. Swami, having said this much, makes a concession. He says, no, I don't condemn worldly happiness. I also feel glad when people are happy. But please don't believe that this happiness is permanent. I want you to study all the arts and sciences for acquiring worldly happiness, but I also want you to remember that this happiness is not everlasting. Otherwise, will Swami have started a university? Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. What is taught there? Vedas, illa. Maths, chemistry, biology, commerce, marketing, management, finance. That's what is taught there also, computer science. Veda, Purana, in all your Christian schools and so on, they'll have one hour a week as philosophy or Christian studies and things like that. Same there also, there used to be 1 hour a week called awareness. Rest of the time, same old, this bacteria, that virus, this taxonomy, that zoology, this chemistry, that physics. What you study here only, we studied there also. So, ihamulu sukimpa hemataraka vidya, paramulu sukimpa brahma vidya. One has to live in this world. Unfortunately, we have to live in this world only. Here, you have to know all these basic sciences and arts and so on and so forth. So, Swami says, I am not saying no. How can Swami say no when he himself is running and ran an entire institution of that sort? That is acceptable. But what should you remember? While doing all of that, remember that this happiness is not permanent. So don't get so caught up in it. It is merely a means. It is merely a means. Don't get caught up in it. Permanent happiness can be secured only through one vidya, Upanishadic knowledge. Vedanta alone can give us the signs of God realization. It is the teaching of the Rishis. Only that can save you and grant you peace. There is nothing higher than that. This is an indisputable fact. No argument about it. Whatever your joy and sorrow, whatever subject you have specialized for your living, rivet your eyes on the knowledge of the Brahman. Turn your attention to Brahma Vidya. If only intelligence is sharpened without the growth and practice of virtues, and if mere information is stored in the brain, the world cannot progress and its welfare will be in jeopardy. Now, worldly sciences are merely here, the brain, the heart is not being touched by it. Heart is not being touched by it. The only knowledge that can save us, that can grant us peace and permanent happiness, is Brahma Vidya. Therefore, Swami says, turn your attention towards Brahma Vidya, turn your attention towards that Brahman. All the other knowledge is okay for a temporary usage. Temporary dane. Because it is constantly being updated. It's constantly made obsolete What you knew 10 years ago is no longer valid. You have to relearn things, learn new things, constantly keep yourself updated. Brahma Vidya has remained the same since the beginning of creation, whenever that was. It has not changed at all. But all the other knowledge that we study is constantly changing. So accumulate it. What to do, garbage also we accumulate in the house. Like that you accumulate it. But don't keep it as a centerpiece in the house. இல்லையா குப்பை சேரதான் போகிறது என்ன பண்ண முடியும் until bin day comes, you have to keep it in a corner, but don't keep it in the center and do dance around it. சுற்றி சுற்றி கையை தட்டின்னு டான்ஸ் ஆடாதீங்க குப்பையை நடுவில் வீட்டில் வச்சுக்கிட்டு. Don't celebrate your garbage. It is a necessary evil, but don't celebrate it. Similarly, don't celebrate your worldly achievements. That is a necessary evil தான். You will not come and proudly declare, I went to the toilet today. Are you going to send a WhatsApp update to Facebook update to everybody that today you successfully went to the toilet? It is a necessary evil. You do it and keep quiet about it. You don't publicize that information. Similarly, whatever achievements you have in the world also are equally to be flushed down the toilet only. There is nothing to be publicized, nothing to be boasted, nothing to be celebrated in it. ஏதோ இருக்கு அவ்வளவுதான். But people seem to be losing faith in virtues. For the educational system does not allocate any space for spiritual training or teaching. True education does not mar or pervert the beautiful virtues of young boys and girls. It does not content itself with filling the brain with cumbersome junk. Only education that gives full scope for the blossoming of virtues that distinguish people is beneficial. Actually, people take the shadow and take it to be the substance. They see the length, breadth, height and thickness and jump to the conclusion that they have an object before them. They experience a series of sensations and memories, and adding them all up, infer that some objects produce them. This mistaking of appearance for reality is misnamed jnana. How can it ever be jnana? Can the image of a person ever be the actual person? If the image is taken to be the person, can we call it knowledge? Such is the nature of all knowledge now. What is cognized as an object is not real at all. Its reality is not cognizable. Don't mistake an appearance for the truth or the reality. What is the appearance? The world is the appearance. What are we taking to be real? We are taking the world to be real. We are taking the things of this world to be real. See, as Swami says here, I don't condemn worldly happiness. Swami gave so much happiness to people. Worldly happiness, how much worldly happiness Swami has given to all of us also. When we are in trouble, we say, Swami. Has Swami ever said, it's okay, you suffer, it is good for you, you will get Adhyatma Vidya? What in Swami Shalala? He rushes to remove our suffering. Yes or no? Swami doesn't say it's all good, you suffer, cholave liye. Whether it is the poor in the villages, whether it was the thirsty people in the villages, whether it was the people that lacked medical aid and attention, for everybody Swami catered. These are all common people who did not even know him. If for those who are his devotees, the moment you call out to him does not matter for what purpose, has not Swami and is not Swami still rushing to solve our problems? To him, see, these problems are big to us. Take 1 minute to think about what our problem is to him. In his absolute nature, in his total vision that he has got of past, present, future and everything, in his spiritual viewpoint, the problems that we have are the problems. But he still does not ignore them. He still does not ignore them. That is the beauty. He tells us, you are not the body, but when there is some pain in the body, he produces vibhuti for it. He inquires after it, isn't it? That's compassion. You are not the body. Swami, pain, Swami. You are not the body. You are Atma. He doesn't say that. He gives us vibhuti and then later on he tells us you are not the body. He doesn't let go of his truth. but he doesn't let go of his compassion also. This is the beauty of Ishvara, of Lord. He is not condemning worldly happiness. He is doing everything he can to make us happy in the worldly level also, but all he is requesting from us is, look, I'll make you happy, but you understand that this is only temporary happiness. As long as you understand this is temporary happiness, I will make you happy, but understand this is temporary. And come to me, I'll give you permanent happiness. What more can he do? You tell me, what more can he do? He's solving our useless little problems and making us happy. At the same time, he says, I'm not begrudging you this happiness, but I want you to have more happiness. I'll give you this little happiness, but I also give you more happiness. Huh? You come to me, I'll give you more happiness. No, Swami, forget it. This happiness is enough for me. Huh? Don't worry, next time I have trouble, I'll come see you. Bye-bye. The next time we have some trouble, Swami will say, yo, look, let's solve this problem. Huh? But come to me, I'll give real happiness. Yeah, sure. Bye-bye, next time. You believe we are doing? We are taking the unreal to be real. And then we are calling it jnana. How can this be jnana? Swami says, can the picture of a person be the real person? World is a picture of God. Can it really be God? Can having the experience of the world equal to having the experience of God? Hey, logically, you can argue, hey, you kept on saying, world is also God, world is also God, world is also God. I will have worldly experience. That means I am having God experience. Abdinna. What can I say other than my usual repeated mantra, what an idiot you are? What else can I say? World is an image of God. World is an appearance of God. But the picture is not the person. You can't go to the picture of a person and shake hands with him. You cannot go to the picture and talk to him. You can talk, he won't talk back. Picture won't talk back. You experience the shadow and take it to be the substance. You look at the length, breadth, height, thickness, etc. Swami is saying you look at the dimensions. You say, oh, this is a tumbler. It is real. Why is it real? You can feel it, you can touch it, it has got a shape, it has got height, breadth, length, circumference or radius, whatever. All of this is there, therefore it is real. The reality of this glass, this tumbler, is based on these parameters. But Swami says, this is all, none of it is real. What is cognized as an object is not real at all. But we are taking this to be real. And see, okay, take it to be real. What is the problem? After that, we are wasting our life, our time in going behind this thing. So what is it to you if I go behind? In my time, it is my life, I am going behind. What is your problem? If we should ask God, then a parent who is asked by the child, what is your problem? It is my life, I will do it. The parent who knows that this child is going and falling into a great peril, what will that parent feel? That is what God feels. The child may say, it is my life, I will do whatever I want. But the parent still feels, alas, when there can be, when you have the right royal path, why are you choosing to walk on this narrow bridge, this frail bridge? How will the parent not feel? Or adangam irkumalliya or agony irkumalliya, will the parent not feel a sense of great sorrow that the child is choosing a wrong path? That is why God is working so hard. That is why Swami is writing these Vahinis. That is why he is sending people to tell you these things. It is out of the immense love that he has for you that he is making these arrangements. Otherwise, what is it to him if we go in the wrong path? What is it to him if we take the world to be real and cry and carry on? Well, yeah. It is his compassion. Advaitins believe that I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. How do they acquire this conviction? Ask one of them, and the reply is, the scripture declares it so, Shruti says so, the Guru taught it like that. But learning it from these sources does not entitle one to make that profound statement. Do people who are masters of these three words, I am the Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, attain unity with the Brahman? No. Ceaseless striving through countless births, loyal performance of scriptural duties, these purify the mind. In such a mind, seeds of devotion sprout, and when tended with care and knowledge, grow into blooming flowers. Fruits appear and ripen and get filled with sweetness and fragrance. When the fruit is eaten, a person then becomes one with the Supreme, the power that permeates all things and all regions, and that is eternally present, conscious and blissful. People may enunciate the formula Aham Brahmasmi correctly, their etymology may be perfect, but when they are ignorant of the world, unaware of the I, and completely in the dark about the Brahman, how can they ever taste the rare joy of the Jnani? It is not mastery of words and their meaning that counts, it is awareness, experience, these are the fundamentals. Again, mere technical knowledge of the scriptures is also not enough. Naturally not enough. No? Everybody can agree. I am the Brahman, but it is still paining. What to do? You may be the Brahman, but if there is still pain, if there is still misery, if there is still sorrow, what is the point? I am the Brahman, I am a miserable Brahman. What to do? If the root cause of the problem doesn't go, if the main reason why you even started on your spiritual path doesn't go away, what is the use of claiming you are the Brahman? It is a mockery, isn't it? It becomes a joke, no? I am God, I am no different from God, I am the infinite supreme, the one reality. Enna prayojanamappa? What is the use? Have you transcended raga and dvesha? Have you transcended dukkha and klesha? Without going beyond all of those things, nowadays Sanskrit rhyming also is happening. Without going beyond all of them. Have you gone beyond raga and dvesha? Have you gone beyond dukkha and klesha? What is the point? What is the point of singing I am God, I am God? Mastering the words is not important here. Awareness of the truth is what is important. Without knowing the meaning of the word God, I am Brahman. They don't know what I is. They don't know what Brahman is. No, I am the Brahman. I am the Brahman. I am the Brahman. I am the I am Asi. Tat Tvam Asi. Aham Brahma Asmi. The Asmi, Asi, same category. Aham Tat Tvam Brahman. That is Tat. They are all with three words in them. Aham Brahma Asmi. Aham Brahma Asmi. I am the Brahman. What is I? I don't know. Sorry, forget it. What is Brahman? Even more I do not know. What is amness? What do you mean amness? I do not know. So what do you know? I am the Brahman. What is the meaning of it? Swami says, you have to purify the mind. First, mind has to be purified. How is it purified? Ceaseless striving through countless births. It's a bit discouraging, no? Ceaseless striving through countless births. Don't worry. Since we have already ceaselessly striven, strived through so many births, we have reached today. We are now as in what we are. So we have already ceaselessly struggled and worked hard for several births. So don't worry. Loyal performance of one's dharma, all of this will lead to Chitta Shuddhi. In that Chitta Shuddhi, then seeds of bhakti sprout. They are tended with care and knowledge. Then they grow into blooming flowers. What flowers? The great virtues that are there. Karuna. We saw so many virtues earlier. Swami spoke about love and compassion, patience, forbearance, steadfastness. All of those, gratefulness, all of those are the flowers that bloom and blossom in us as we grow in the spiritual path. And then fruits appear. What is this fruit? Appadina, prema dhaan periya fruit. It ripens, it fills us with its aroma, its fragrance, its sweetness. And when this prema rasa, prema phala is eaten, when this prema fruit is eaten, we derive the essence of it, the rasa of it, then we become one with the Supreme, which is eternal, eternally present, conscious, blissful, nityam, ananda swarupam, chaitanya swarupamana Brahman. You become one with it, you experience it, you realize it that way, not by simply saying I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. Understand that the objective world is as unreal as the dream world. Mud alone is real. The pot consciousness is born of ignorance regarding mud. Mud is the basis, the substance is the pot. How can a pot exist without mud? How can an effect exist apart from its cause? The world appears as multiplicity only to the ignorant. To the jnani, Brahman alone exists, Brahman upon which all else is superimposed. The Atma is cognized by them. There is nothing else for them. This is the true non-dualistic Advaitic experience. Swami uses a very common example of Vedanta, mud and pot. By using that as an example, sometimes when you really look at it as a plain example, you will find something odd about it. What it says, mud is real, pot is unreal. Basically, it says, mud is real, pot is unreal. Mud alone is real, pot is ignorance. Why pot is ignorance? What sin did pot do? Mud is real, pot is unreal. Now, what does it mean? The substratum alone is real. What is it really? It is mud only. It is shaped as a pot. It is shaped as a pot. But what does it still continue to be? Mud only. But the moment it is shaped in a different form, you forget the fact that it is mud and you call it pot. From that moment onwards, you are only calling it pot, pot, pot. You have forgotten that it is mud. That is why it is ignorance in the children. That is why we call it ignorance. Do you understand? Mud is real because it remains mud before it is shaped into a pot. It remains mud when it exists as a pot. It remains mud when the pot is gone. Or you take a lump of gold, you fashion it into a bangle and then you melt it back into a lump of gold. It remains as gold through when it is a lump, it is gold. When it is a bangle, it is gold. When it is recast into something else also, it is a gold. When it is melted back into a lump, it still remains as gold. All the others are there only in a temporary period of time. It is only a shape. It is only an appearance of gold. Do you understand? Bangle is only an appearance of gold. But what is wrong in calling it a bangle then? You forget the fact that it is gold and get so obsessed with only the bangle. That is why we find a fault with it. Now, whether you call it a bangle or gold doesn't matter. But it is only a metaphor. For what? This world is only God. God is the world has been superimposed upon God. It is simply giving some form and shape to it. But you have forgotten that it is God and you are calling it as the world. You are running your life as though everything depends upon this without recognizing and realizing the substratum, that substance which is modified or appearing as all of this. That is where there is a problem. If you still can see this as Brahman, there is no problem. Nobody is causing any problem. That is why Swami says here, to the jnanis, Brahman alone exists. They do not even see the world. Multiplicity is there only for the ignorant. What is wrong with seeing multiplicity? Next question you may ask. What is wrong with seeing multiplicity? All your problems are only because you see multiplicity. All the problems, the sorrow that comes to you that you want to get out of, get rid of, all of that is only happening because of multiplicity. Multiplicity is not seen, then these problems will not be there. Dukkha and klesha come only because of raga and dvesha. Likes and dislikes, seeing this as separate to that, is what is giving rise to your sorrow and pain and suffering. So, unless I get rid of this dualistic vision, I cannot get rid of the constant duality of joy, sorrow, joy, sorrow, joy, sorrow. So if I want that permanent ananda, then I have got to get rid of the dualistic vision. That is why here Swami says the non-dualistic experience that the jnani has is that the Brahman alone exists, Brahman upon which all else is superimposed. Atma alone is cognized by the jnani. There is nothing else. Apart from the Atma, there is nothing else. Everything is there. When we say nothing else, Naka, everything is still there. See, this is still seen as a tumbler only. It doesn't suddenly become, what can it become? It will remain as this only. Whether jnani sees it or ajnani sees it, it will remain as this only. Then what is the difference, Abhina? If it goes away, jnani is not affected. Ajnani may be affected. Oh, it is gone. Jnani knows it can never go. What can go? Can Brahman go? Where can it go? If the world is real, it must be cognized even during the stage of dreamless deep sleep. But we are not conscious of it at that time. If the world is real, it should remain real in all three states. Trikala Bhadhyam Satyam. What is real? That which is constant, unchanging in all three phases of time and states, avasthas, alone can be called as real. Where is the world when you are fast asleep? Where is this world when you are fast asleep? Forget when you are fast asleep. Where is this world when you are dreaming? There is another world there. This world is not there. All kinds of unique, funny things happen in that world, but this world is not there. Isn't it? Appo, this world occupies only a third of your experience. If your experience is divided into waking, dream and deep sleep, then this world that you call real is occupying only a third portion of your experience. Of your whole experience, only one third is this world. Other third is a dream world, the other final third is a no world. So we are giving so much importance to one third of our experience. Just think about it in terms of numbers. We are giving 99% of our attention to 33% of our experience. Isn't it? You may say, well, I sleep only 8 hours, but I am awake 16 hours. So, one third only I am sleeping, 2/3 I am awake. So, what to do? I have to give importance to this 2/3 business. Because if this 2/3 is not sorted out, that 1/3 also will not be there for me. If there are too many problems in this 2/3 reality, my 1/3 sleep also is eaten up by it. I cannot sleep. But all that is only true until we recognize the truth of it. See, from an Upanishadic point of view, from a jnana point of view, the recognition, the realization is that all my joys and sorrows are unreal. Brahman alone is real. Whether I am hungry or not is the same. I am Atma. Even if I am starving, it is only the body that is starving. I am Atma. This is the truth. Even if there is excruciating pain, it is only the body that is in pain. I am the Atma. This is also the truth. There is no doubt about it. Mahatmas, Jnanis have lived like this. Swami said, but pain will still be there. Swami also said, Noppi undi bada ledu. Kani noppi undi kada. Pain is there, no suffering. But pain is still there. What to do? Body is there. So pain is also there. From an absolute point of view, everything is seen only as an experience. Pain also is seen as an experience. It's there. Something is there. They are cognizant of it. It is there, it is existing. That's okay, it doesn't matter to me. So what if it is there? Pain is there, so what? Pleasure is there, so what? Let it be there, it is not of any consequence to me. Ramana Bhagavan, on one occasion, he says, I am existing in 20 bodies in 20 worlds. There are 20 worlds and I am existing in 20 different bodies in 20 worlds. Now, how can I be bothered if one body is sorrowful and one body is happy? I alone exist. In all the bodies, I alone am. So, what is so important and particular about this body's welfare and well-being as opposed to that body's welfare and well-being? If I am happy there, is the same thing, no? If I am healthy there and unhealthy here, it makes no difference. I am healthy there, no? It's still fine. This is the experience of the Jnani. Now, to most of us, why most of us? To all of us, this is like an unreachable stage. Where is this stage? Even smallest pains I am not able to bear. Now for me to say, I am happy in that body, it's fine. How do we tackle it? Bhagavan, Ishvara, God, Swami does not leave us in the lurch. He doesn't leave us in the lurch. What do we do then? What is our Brahma, Advaita Jnana? What is our Brahma Vidya? For us, it is enough for us to know. Swami is there. Swami is there. He'll look after me. He'll take care. Pain is there, but Swami is also there. No? Swami will take care of the pain. Finished. I cannot, even if you cannot have that great stealing of the mind. STEELANG, not EL. Steal. You steal your mind away from pain and you remain unattached. That is one way. Or Swami will come and help you. What is that? Is he going to say, no, you have to consider yourself as the Atma? Swami, I am the Atma, Swami. I know, Swami, but can you take care of the body, Swami? I will remain as the Atma. You take care of the body. You solve my problems. What is there? Swami is doing it, no? Not that is something new that he has to start doing. As it is until now, if we are alive now, well, happy today, it is because he has stepped in and intervened and saved us on so many occasions. Isn't it? Now, all of us are nodding our heads. So we know it is the truth. Nothing new in it. All that is happening, in fact, is making it even better and saying, okay, Swami, I will understand, I will slowly get there that I am the Atma. But until then, help me get there. No? Don't get me so bogged down by this pain and this sorrow. Give me some strength, give me courage. Pray to Swami, call out to him, ask him. He will give. Why will he not give? When you are immersed in the world and you ask him and he is going to give you all of that, why will he not give it to you when you start getting immersed in him in spiritual path and ask these things? Ilya? Engrossed in the world when you are calling out to help itself, is coming to help you. Then immersed in spiritual path, if you call out to help, will he not come to help you? So for us, what is our non-dualistic experience? Swami is enough. Swami is there. This is the non-dualistic Advaitam. Swami dar gar vera onnu illa Advaitam. Some Brahman means I do not know. I am not very acquainted. Nobody introduced Brahman to me. I don't know how it looks, where it comes from, how to behave with it. I do not know all of that. Swami I know. So what is my Advaita now? Swami is there. Swami alone is there. Only God. That much is Advaita is enough. But don't get engrossed in the world and then do it. No, everything that Swami has said so far has to be practiced. Everything has to be practiced. While practicing the spiritual sadhana of giving joy to everybody, of living with the attitude that nothing is mine, everything belongs to him, body itself is not mine, I am not the body, all that has to be there. All of that has to be there. I am not the body, this body is not for me, body is for serving everybody. Only then Dehabhimana will go. Leya, Swami Channar Leya. Swami says, the Dehabhimana, if you want it to go, then you have to adopt this formula, this mantra. I am not the body. Body is not for me also. It is not mine. Three things here. I am not the body. Body is not mine. And it is not for me. I am the Atma, body belongs to him, it is for the sake of others. This mantram idu. I am not the body. But doesn't mean it is my body, it is his body. What is it for? So that he can give joy to everybody using this body. So that we must do. But while doing it, by all means, we can call out to him, and he will be there to respond then and there with great immediacy and urgency. He will respond. You can see him responding. You have got to also do a little bit, no? You have to put in your little bit. What is your little bit? Throw everything out and stick only with him. All your desires, your dreams, your aspirations, they are all only dreams. They are not real. But I have a dream. It will remain a dream. Get into reality. Wake up to reality. I have a dream. But I have a dream now. Wake up. When will you wake up? Uttishta, Jagrata. Don't keep sleeping and dreaming. தூங்கிட்டே இருந்தால் என்ன பண்ணுறது? தோற்று முனக்கே பெருந்துயில் தான் தந்தானோ அப்படின்னு சொல்லணும். கூற்றத்தின் வாழ்விழ்ந்த கும்பகர்ணனும் தோற்றும் உனக்கே பெருந்துயில் தான் தந்தானோ ஆற்றல் அறந்தருடையாய் அங்கலமே தேசமாய் வந்து திரவேலோர் எம்பாவாய் அப்படின்னு like Andal says, what are you still sleeping for? Did Kumbhakarna, when he fell in the battlefield, looked around and did not know whom to give his great boon of eternal sleep? So did he choose you and give the sleep to you? I have a dream. Foolish. People want dream jobs, people want dream weddings, people want dream houses, people want a dream life. It never happens, it happens only in a dream. In reality, it will not happen. Wake up and smell the coffee. Yeah. People say, no, I want a dream wedding. But what does it mean? It will end in Artham. But dream will end, you will wake up. Then you will see, gee, did I marry this person? Don't live in dreams, live in reality. What is the reality? God is the reality. Rest of it is not worth putting in your mental effort towards. World is not worth putting your mental efforts to. It will not recognize you. It will forget you. It is not you. It is not worth it. It is useless. It is you cannot blame it. It is changing. What can you do? It is constantly changing. Who was there yesterday is not there today. What can you do about it? Manale, that is why again and again Swami is insisting, not only through Prema Vahini, but all his Vahinis, all his discourses, through all forms of great teachers everywhere. Swami is saying the same truth. The truth is that make God the priority of life. Make God the priority of life. Live life in utter, absolute service to the divine. By transmuting every action that you do into something that is selfless, that is aimed at giving joy to everybody. Put that first and live your life. What will happen? God himself will be ready to serve you at all times, because when you do his work, he will do your work for you. So you don't have to worry about doing your work. He will take care of it. You only look after his work. What is his work? To give joy to all. Then what will he do now? Since giving joy to all is his work, you are also part of the all, no? You are also part of the all. You cannot have an all without you. So, since his job is to give joy to all, he will take care of his job through somebody else. Somebody else will come and give joy to you. In some form or the other, joy will come to you. And no matter what form it comes, you will also be able to recognize it is actually coming from him only. That is also very important. That is again very, very important, because you should not get caught up in the person through whom God comes and gives joy to you. Sometimes, it may happen. People will go for bhajans, and some woman will come and help the man. Then you say, Swami sent, and they'll marry that person. That's not how it should work. You don't get caught up in that person. Remember, it's Swami who sent. Remember Swami. Swami varandu poi ivaal pidichinda enna prayojanam? Because see, this world, sometimes the greatest problem comes from virtues only, noble virtue. I should be grateful. True, you should be grateful. To whom? You should have gratitude. To whom? To whom should you have gratitude? The other day, somebody posted a pack of tea bags, various flavored tea bags to us. It came by post. Now, who should I be grateful to? The postman? If I forget the person that sent it to me, and instead say, oh, you must come, you also have a cup of tea because you brought tea, thank you so much, thank you so much. If I keep thanking the postee, forgetting the poster, he's only postee, a poster is sitting somewhere else, one who posted it. If I forget the poster and thank the postee, is that right? Is it appropriate? But you know what, I did not even thank the poster. Because to me, poster also is a postee only. Who is the real poster now? It is coming from him. Who should I thank? Only him. I don't thank anybody. I do not thank anybody. If I thank you, it is only me being polite. Oh, thank you. You know I am merely lips, never coming from the heart. Those who have heard me thank them know it. It is as shallow as it can ever get. Oh, thank you. They themselves know he doesn't mean a word. Why is he even saying it? But what to do? They also have to be polite. No, you shouldn't be saying thank you and all. I know, that is why I am merely saying, mouthing it. I am not meaning it. Don't get carried away. Because I know you are only an instrument. You are merely an instrument. The person that I should thank is him. You should also thank him because he has chosen you as an instrument to bring things to me. But you should really be thanking him only for giving the opportunity to you. I should be thanking him for giving the object to me. You should be thanking him for giving you the opportunity to deliver it to me. Ultimately, all gratitude goes to God alone, not people. Because if you get caught up with people, that is another Maya altogether. It is a separate Maya altogether. Then you will be in the classic Indian Sri Lankan family, the style. Somebody come to our wedding, we will make a list. They gave $100. This person gave $200. That person gave $50. This person ate so much, gave only $20. Because why? When you go to their wedding, you have to look. Oh, $100. Okay, we have to give $100. Oh, $200. Oh, we have to give $200 here. And that fellow only gave 20. Give only 10. Okay. You will get caught in all of this nonsense. Then you will start measuring. In the name of gratitude, you will start measuring. That fellow, they came and gave us dhoti. But what dhoti is it, I say? It's such a thin jerry. The other fellow gave this much. Every comparison will come. So-called gratitude will also become an enemy. Have gratitude only to the person who sent it to you. God. Rest of it all instruments. It has got nothing to do with us. You understand? Suppose you are helping somebody. The other day, it so happened that one of our youth's mother, it was her birthday. And it was her 60th birthday. Some birthday. It was a birthday. And suddenly, we got the idea that we will cook lunch for her and send it. So, a sweet was made and nice food was made. It turned out to be extremely delicious that day. Food was made and it was sent through this boy. Go and deliver it to your mother as a surprise for her birthday. I said to everybody, see, she has been devoted to Swami for years and years and done so much seva for Swami. The fact that we cooked food and sent has got nothing to do with us and our relationship with her. On the other hand, it is Swami's relationship with her and her relationship with Swami. She has served Swami faithfully for years. So Swami says, oh, this devotee has served me. I should do something for her. Swami has chosen. has decided. So he looks around and says, oh, okay, you people cook. Now then he gave the opportunity for us to cook, and we delivered. It has nothing to do with her or us. It is to do with him and her. We are merely Uber Eats. On the airlines, no? Some airlines, when you get in when you're landing or something, they will say, we appreciate the fact that you have a number of flying choices, but we are very grateful that you made us your choice for today. We hope to see you again. They'll make an announcement. Like that, we also have to tell God, we know that you have a number of choices, serving choices. You could have chosen anybody to be your instrument, and you could have made them do it because you wanted to shower your grace on that person. You could have chosen anybody, but thank you for choosing me. That is all. And as far as that recipient, who should she be grateful to? If she is grateful to us, that is also wrong. We are only instruments. Who should she be grateful to? To Swami. Everybody is grateful to Swami. Isn't it an easily done job? Otherwise, you have to remember how much who gave, what they gave. Now their birthday I have to give. Not too much hassle. Don't bother about all these things. But be grateful to God all the time. Tatte anukampamsu samikshamanaha. Constantly remember and be grateful to God for every moment that He is looking after you through so many different instruments. You be polite and courteous to all these instruments, but your gratitude should be to Him. Don't get entangled with the instrument. That is danger. Like this, if we live our lives, then our relationship will only be directly with Him, heart to heart. Idu Advaitam dan. This is also Advaita. You do not recognize anything other than Him. Advaitam. Ekameva Advaitam. Advitiyam Brahma. There is no two, only one. Who am I grateful to? Not so many people, only Him. I am grateful only to Him. We will stop here. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkhabhag bhavet. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Sai Ishwararpanamastu.